In the next 45 minutes or so, till the Alankaram is going, I'll share with you the messages which comes to me, which is meant for you. As a mailman, I deliver it to you. It will come from her. So I'll go over certain information which will give you some basic idea which you may not be aware of, because this temple, the addition, is designed by Mother, and it's very unusual. She has some very unique deities about which you may not be knowledgeable. But you should become knowledgeable because she's giving it to you. That means you have known them, not this lifetime, many, many lifetimes. And you would have asked for them. Now she'll give it to you, give it to me. So I'm just a message taker. I just get the messages and transmit it to you. The origin of the temple, you know, I won't go through the depth of it. It came in a mystical experience over 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when Divine Mother said, you will build my house with my help. I'll direct you and help you to build my house, because the world is going through major crisis in the next 100 years or so. There'll be a major problems, and earthlings need our help to survive. So this place of worship, which you will build with my help, with my direction, will protect the world. That is a message. Since then, I had to do many things, because person has to be prepared. Obviously, I was not prepared to build the temple, because first thing she said is, in 1994, she started appearing as Parashakti Karumari Ambika, which is one of her aspects. And that temple in Tamil Nadu, you probably know, in Thiruvarkadu there's a temple, but that is not the original temple. Agastya Bhagavan built the temple, a little bit different place. I had seen that, but that is not being visited by people. It's not too far from there. That's the original temple. So she said, to build my house, I'll give you direction, but you have to hear me. You have to know what I'm saying. You have to make it, because my children need this, want this, and I want them to have it. So you follow me, everything I say, and do it. What was needed is, a normal human won't have a communication, because you're totally separated from her. She's sitting on top of trillion separation of the consciousness. To transcend down to our level, it's a huge chore, but she will do that, because she has said to us that you build my house, and I will make sure my aspects, millions of them, Yakshinis, Mohinis, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, all the, I call them super sensual forces, who are not material. So you can't feel them, see them, but you can perceive them. Many of you have perceived in this temple, full of Yakshinis. Those are the intermediaries, the transcendent aspect of Parashakti. That can reach us, and she can pull us down. The Hirim Bija is a divine kindness to us. She transcends. The Om elevates us. We have to go towards Shiva. Shiva Shakti to me is one. I use the word Shakti or Shiva. To them it's one. Before separation they were one. So you got to have mantras, tantras, and yantras. And you need a builder who is qualified. And I went through many builders and chose the one we have now, a very good architect. But she said, no, I need a divine builder. Who is this? Vishwakarma. I need Vishwakarma to participate in what we are doing. How do you invoke Vishwakarma? He's a cosmic person. He's not a human. He's a divine being. She said, I will make him come. Here is a mantra. You do a special homa. You invite the architect and do the homa exactly the way I want it. And there you invoke Vishwakarma. You know, Vishwakarma is heavenly architect. all the heavenly build, Vishwakarma build. He's a builder. He's a heavenly architect. So we had that our Sabadi come here, do the homa. Strange thing, it's a very beautiful mantra she gave to invoke him. I cannot even remember one bija. No, you remember one or two bija sometime in the mantra. No, it's gone completely. Strangely, because I know so many mantras. How could I not even remember a couple of bijas? No, it's gone forever. Next time when she wants to build a temple, she will choose someone and give that person the ability to communicate. Right now, I do not know. I'm saying this because recently came to our Stabadi in Chennai, close to Chennai, and they wanted to build this temple because they came and seen it, our Rajagopuram. They want that to be built in. So he came and saw him and said, "We'll give you land and whatever money you need, we'll give you, but you reproduce this. We'll give you the most valuable land." Of course, he told him, "No, I cannot do that." And the man got very upset. "We're giving the land and the money. What is the problem? You have built it." And then he told him the story that this was done through Vishwakarma. That means somebody has to invoke him. That means you have to know the mantra. And he calls me, he said, "Doctor, can you remember?" I can't even remember one bija, leave alone the whole mantra. That means this cannot be built. That's taken away from the earthling until she says another time, another period, another place, she will give us the privilege of participating in her building. And we are the chosen one. We are chosen, we are blessed, we are privileged, and she builds it. It's the humans who build temples and do ashrams, do all the spiritual places to go up. The divine building it is unheard of. But she does it because she knows the time is bad and we need protection. So this is temple of protection. Now it will make sense to you when I show you all the sannidhanams she is going to give us. These are very unusual sannidhanams. And when you look at it, you know this is defense. That means there's an attacker. If there's no attacker, she won't give us the defensive forms. It's very unusual. You won't see it in the temples. So all this to me makes sense because as an intermediary mailman, I get to read. One thing she told me, you tell people you are a mailman and you carry the mail. Did you tell them I allowed you to read the mail? See, mailman cannot read the mail. I allowed you. So I have the best privilege to be able to read messages she sends you, private messages. She's a very personal goddess. Each one of you, she's very personal. And to be a personal goddess, there has to be certain qualification. And this temple qualifies, and you will see it as you go on. Okay, with that introduction, I'll start the first slide. This is a new a temple. This would be, the first Sannidhanam would be Divine Mother. It will be magnificent. Large and very magnificently done. The way she has done that. The rasa cannot be explained. You have to see it. And it will look magnificent. You'll be stunned the way it is. And it will be that. So that would be the first one. And that we hope we can complete it by May. Now it's January already. So we'll do our best. I wanted to do it by March, but I know now it cannot be done because these are very detailed. And all the small elevations, the colors, everything have meaning. The rasa, the vibrations. So it is just not the structure. It's much more than that. And she will grant us, and you get to see a magnificent Sannidhanam for her. This Ganesha, Kartikeya, and Divine Mother. And all the information she has given us, we followed through, and we'll make sure she'll present like that so you can receive her, because she is personal. Each one of you, she's personal. There'll be something between you and her. So I got to do exactly the way she wants. What you get out of it, only you would know. Each one of you may be different. But it'll be like that. It'll be a magnificent new Sannidhanam. There'll be 32 of them. Can you imagine 32 Sannidhanams? Is it good and bad? The bad is because if you need that many defensive aspects of her, there must be attacker. So the journey is a dangerous journey. This period, it will be a difficult period. It started difficulty. Look at the COVID. Now, even last year, January, we didn't even have any idea. Look how life has changed. Small virus, very primitive, only one RNA, not even a complex bacteria, nothing. Very simple. When it attacks every organ. It goes into every part of your body, attacks. I'll show you the list of shrines first. Many of them, you know we have it. The one which is underlined would be new. Lakshmi Hayagriva, that will be a new Sannidhanam. It will be magnificent. Hayagriva, the wisdom aspect, you will be a male form of Vani, Lakshmi Hayagriva, that she will have her own Sannidhanam. Then Chokanathar and Devi Meenakshi. I have to tell you this. First message came, that was Mother Meenakshi. She said, but you would not call me Meenakshi, you would call me Devi Parashakthi. I'll be that. So messenger, as Meenakshi she came. So we give most. So we should have a separate Sannidhanam for her, and we will have it at Chokanathar. It will be a wonderful Sannidhanam. Panchamukha Hanuman. The Hanuman's many aspects. The Panchamukha Hanuman is very powerful. Again, a defensive aspect. It has all the aspects. Vishnu, Shiva, Bhairava, all the aspects of highest deities, you will have it. That's called Panchamukha Hanuman. So Mother has granted us that Hanuman. It will be magnificent and most protective Hanuman. Agastya Lobhamutra is very special to her. From the beginning, in our temple, they were very, very active. They were very kind. Many Siddhas in India, you see them in Himalayas and Sadragiri mountain, certain areas, and they all know that they are here, actively present and gracing us and blessing us. The yatra. So I'm doing it on your behalf. You haven't even seen it. You probably haven't even heard about this episode. She takes care of it. What is needed for us, she takes care of it. But you should try to be aware. Awareness brings a lot more than just knowing. Being aware of an episode, you know a lot more than just hearing about it. So the awareness of the fact Rameshwaram ritual was done, and the effects of that would be here in this temple. So you come here. So the Kubera Linga we have will have special linga. And the mythology is after Ram Bhagavan destroyed, vanquished his enemy, he was a very mighty. These asuras are mighty beings. They are not ordinary. We just give them an ugly form, ridiculous form. No, they're very highly evolved soul. And in fact, Divine told Rama and Lakshmana, before he passes, Ravana, go and ask him to tell you some secrets that's not known. So Lakshmana goes and asks Ravana. Ravana said, you won't even look at him. He turns his face away. Then Rama Bhagavan goes to the head and with humility sits next to Rama and asks him, please convey it. So world will have it. That knowledge would not disappear from the world. So he gives it to him. And there he said, I wanted Shiva worshipped with three lingams. Visvalingam, Ramalingam and Sita Lingam. Three lingams he specified. And mother told me, you get that from India, made the way he wants it, the way it was in the beginning. So that will be installed. So you'll get to see that. You'll get to worship that. That's a huge, huge blessing. Who would know all this? I would never know. what's all the secret. But she gives you the information. She tells you where to go, who to reach. It'll be a Siddha. She'll somehow bring him to me when I go visit them. And they will very happily tell me, because they know before I even tell them what is the purpose of this in this temple. This is for the world, and then to you, and then to me. So it's for universal purpose. So they're very, very helpful, cooperative, and give all the information, needed information. And that kind of privilege and the blessing is unheard of for a human to get it. And she does it because you ask for it. Then Pratyankara Devi. Pratyankara Devi, you may not, all of you may not know, some of you know, is a very high deity, high Shakti, almost at the level of highest Lalita Tirupurasuntari, Mahakali, in that level, highest vibration. They're all vibratory. The difference is vibration. The highest one would be Mahakali, Lalita Tirupurasuntari, and Pratyankara Devi would come in that level, the vibratory levels of her. Again, she's a defensive. In time of danger, you invoke her, and we will her here install separately, Pratyankara. And what she did, she is the one who controlled at the time when Lakshmana, when Narasimha destroyed the evil and consumed the blood. Logically, that should make you an asura because you consumed him. So he became out of control, and the world could not handle. So everyone tried to calm him down, but he could not be calmed, which again makes sense. You consume an asura, mighty asura, you will get that trait, and he had it. And then Pratyankara Devi and Sulani Durga, both of them came in form of bird and engulfed Narasimha, and he calmed down. They imparted it. You are a maintainer. You are a sustainer. So you cannot be out of control. So you have to calm down and take care of the world. You are a maintainer of the universe. And then he realized that he was under the spell of the Asura. Even after he was gone, he was under a spell. So that was a story on Pratyankara. Very, very powerful Devi, Pratyankara Devi. Annapurna Devi will be a new one. It will be in the restaurant section where you will be eating. It will be a beautiful hall. You would eat your prasadam there. There Annapurna Devi will be installed, which will be the most appropriate place to be in. Rest of them I'm not saying anything because you have seen them before. They are not new. Yeah. Saptamatrukas are very important because Mother manifests in 7 different aspects. These are all transcendent aspects. There's only one her, Devi Parashakti. One becomes so many, trillions and trillions. And depending on our need, she would give that grace. So Saptamatrukas are 7 mothers of the manifestation who can reach us easier and more effectively. So we will have a Sannidhanam for Saptamatrukas there. And we will do what the needed functions, needed rituals to get you, get us the grace. Nagadevatas in a different form, Nagaraja, Nagarani, and the child, all 3 together, they're very, very powerful and effective. Basically, they stimulate the Kundalini. So Naga are the representation of Kundalini because it's a coil, it's the only coiled animal. So that's and the vibration of serpent, I don't like to use the word Naga, serpent. That vibration is very attuned to Kundalini activity. So when your Kundalini wakes up, if you have Nagadevata's grace and blessing, your Kundalini will ascend powerfully and more effectively. All of us, Kundalini is awake. So don't make it very mystical. If you're a human, your Kundalini is awake. Otherwise, you won't be a human. You'll be animal. We came through all those channels and become a human with that level of consciousness. That means the Kundalini is awake. But it's in Mooladhara, Ganesha sitting there. And you have to activate and carry him to Sahasrara. That's a huge journey. That is the purpose of our life itself. So life is a journey. What is the aim? When you're journeying, you know where you want to go, what you want to do. You have to have the idea. And that is Kundalini. Only through Kundalini you are able to understand all the mystical knowledge which our scriptures teach you, our Upanishads and Vedas. They give you all the information. To understand them, you have to know that language. And when Kundalini wakes up, the wisdom, that gnosis wakes up. Then you hear them. And then you understand them. So Naga Devatas are very important. So we will give them their own Sannidhanam. Naga curse is very common, by the way. Naga's curse is quite common. We don't know. Most of us do not know. Many minor problems will arise because of Naga dosha. So when you go and visit the Sannidhanam and pray to Naga Devata, without you knowing, those problems will be solved. Next slide. That would be a new Sannidhanam. Garbha Rakshambika. How many of you heard about her? None. Don't feel bad, because I didn't hear about her either. The way I was introduced to her, strangely, one of my close friends' daughter, strangely, she was a gynecologist. She was the head at Wayne State, and she was pregnant. So during my meditation, I had a feeling it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a problem. So I told her mother, who's also a physician, I said, be careful, okay, it won't be an easy one. Be careful, make sure you have a good gynecologist who observes her and takes care of her. Lo and behold, at 12 o'clock I get a call. She's at, I think, Henry Ford Hospital, and complication. The baby's stuck in a transverse direction. Either they cannot push it back or take it out. It is stuck in the situation, and the heart rate is going up, and it's stress. The baby cannot handle it too long, and mother cannot handle it too long. So her mother called me and said, Doctor, please ask mother to help. So I came here at 1 o'clock. I meditated in front of mother, and mother said, no, it'll be okay. I will send my special aspect to help her. So within an hour, I get a call from her mother saying, it's all very simple. It all came out very nicely. Then I asked, who is that aspect of you? Because I want everyone to know, whoever going to get pregnant, because she must be a super specialist gynecologist. Super specialist gynecologist. Garbha Ratnambika. There's a famous temple, it seems, have not been there in India, in south someplace. And she, Tanjavur. Okay, obviously somebody has seen. And so anytime you have a family member who's got problem with pregnancy, you come here, sit before her, and invoke her. So mother has provided you that aspect of her. Garbha Ratchambika. It'll be a beautiful Sannidhanam. Pechiyamman is another aspect of mother. Udanathar. So these are all defensive aspect of mother. Ashtanagas. Isakiyamman is very, very important. Isakiyamman. How many of you heard of Isakiyamman? You heard of Isak. You know who is Isakiyamman? Isakiyamman is Ichha Shakti. That's fundamental. Desire is fundamental. People, Vedas will say, desire is bad, don't have it. You have to have desire. You have to have a desire for evolution. Desire to go back to mother and become one with her. That's the ultimate aim of self-realization. You have to realize you are divine, but you're isolated and you have a very small spark of her. And with her kindness, she'll take you back. That's Icha Shakti. And that has become Isaki Amman. Karpaswamy is one of the defensive deities. Masana Kali, that temple, mother asked me to go and do a special homa. It's a beautiful temple. Mother is very large. It's probably 12 feet. She's lying down, and they do very good homas for her. Why it's so important? Because the only thing we know for sure is we are going to pass away. There's no doubt at all. Any question, people may say, well, how do you know this, how do you know that? This one, you don't have to even doubt. We will leave this body and go. I may leave at the age of 80, you may leave at the age of 100 or 120. But you are going to shed this and go. But before you do them, make sure you use that temporary short-term rental. I call it, this is my short-term rental. My mind, body, intellect, ego complex is a short-term rental given to me. Why is it given to me? Because I asked for it. And that karmic story, I asked, I produced it. I wrote that, I produced it. That is my story. You prarabdha karma, that's what you are living now. You wrote it. You cannot blame anyone. And there is no need to blame anybody. These are all not blame games. This is what has to be done. To purify and go to next level of evolution, you got to overcome whatever deficit you had. So as soon as you pass and go to the other plane of consciousness, you observe. And Chitragupta would have given account to Emma already, and Emma would have given its decision. So you observe it, you say, okay, this is what I failed. So I will write another story, and I'll produce it. I will act on it. So you are the producer, director, and the actor. And that life, you would do that part. So it's a very, very fair, equitable system. There's nothing straightforward. But only difference is, in that form, in the pure spirit form, you are 100% clean. There's no hiding, there's nothing. It is there, and you see it, and you write what needs to be done, what is treatment for that, how to correct that defect. It's just like science. It is truly science. Science and spirituality, they will say it's contradictory, but actually it's not. But science can cover only a small part of reality, a very small part. And as science advances, you will know more and more. But the reality is much, much more intense. And with the divine grace, you will know it. Yourself will wake up, and you will know who you are, where you came from, where you want to go. These are all fundamental questions. We should be looking for it. But many of us, we don't. And by the time we realize this, we are too old. We really can't make any major changes. That means this short-term rental is wasted. I got to have the one. So, but in this temple, with all the wisdom she gives, you would know what you're supposed to do. It's not easy. Even if you realize 10% of what you want to realize, that's huge. Because as Mother said, I had given you 600, 800 million times pulse. If you want, you can take it. So time is not a factor at all. There's no time. It's eternal. That is the reason why this temple, she wanted me to name it, Eternal Mother. It's always there. There's no beginning, there's no end. There's no birth, there's no death. So your soul is like that. But it takes on many forms, many lives. And they are so real. Mahamaya is so active, and it's real, and you cannot look beyond it. But our challenge in the journey, our challenge is that to know ourselves. That is the reason Kundalini is essential. You got to wake up the Kundalini, meaning the gnosis, the understanding of who you are, why you are here, where you want to go, all that. What level are you in the evolution? All this you would know, because in that form you know the whole story, so you can write your own script. So write your script and act out as best as you can. You may not be able to do 100%, even if you do 10% each life. She has given us, that's what Krishna Bhagavan says, Arjuna, you have lived 820,000 times, that's almost a million times. I know you in each time, but you don't know me. Whereas I have seen you every life. That many life you have had. Okay, that's Masana Kali, beautiful temple, and we will have wonderful sannidhanams for her. It will be magnificent. You will all enjoy it. The kindness of her to give us all this, it's meaningful. At the time of transition, you need help, I need help. That's the most dangerous, difficult period. As soon as you pass away, mythologically, there's a river you pass. It's called Vetriyani River. And the river is very difficult to pass. The river is full of blood and pus. And the floor is spikes, sharp objects. And you walk through 800 kilometers. Who know? How do they know? I don't know. Anyway, that is descriptive. You pass through that, then go to the Yama's place. But you have to survive. And at that time, Masana Kali will come to you gracefully and help you to pass that worst period. Worst period. You lived through this hell in this life. This is not hell. That is hell. Because all your past births, deficits would manifest. You'll see it. You will live it. That means you're living through many, many lifetimes bad aspect, not the good aspect. Can you imagine how bad that would be? And that time Masana Kali, she would come, give you the knowledge, the wisdom, and the ability to survive. Satyankara Devi too, she gives her bija sham. Sham is a bija. Sham is for survival, managing bad circumstances, surviving a bad circumstances. So we'll have a Masana Kali. Draupadi is a Devata. Saptakanyas we will have. Munishwara is very important, particularly in this period. Munishwara is very important because he is closer to our level of consciousness. He is divine. The difference between the closest divine and to us, when I say closest, I really mean the lowest among the divine. I don't want to use the word lowest. I'm saying closest to us. That would be million times more than us in terms of consciousness. That consciousness of the closest, our lowest deity would be million times more than us. So you can imagine what a travel. The journey is very fascinating, very difficult, very meaningful, and you attain great things. What is a great thing? You are getting divinized. Remember the term, divinized. She wants us to be devatas. The divinization comes from purification. And the purity there is not the purity I can think of. It will be pure, like a divine person. That state you reach only after you pass this mind, body, intellect, ego. That means you are dead to the world, but you are alive to that world, spiritual world. That's what she wants. She wants you to be. Yeah. So this temple is known for that. Many gurus who come here, they say this is a Devaloka, entrance to Devaloka. They say that because they feel the Yakshinis, Vidyadharas, the Antharvas, all the supersensual forces, they feel them. So they feel this must be the entrance to next level, the Devaloka. That will be a different loka. There won't be the impediment, mind, body, ego, impediment won't be there. There'll be higher challenges, but different. Would it be in different planets? Could be. It could be anywhere, but you will go through that. Munishwara battles asuras, battles the negative forces, which are as much as devatas, almost billion. So many of the negative cosmic energy. It's really a pure science, positive and negative. And there are many, many of them. And we are not aware of it because we are dense. We cannot even feel them. We don't even see. Big ones we don't see. You see, there are billions and billions of molecules. We don't see them. But Munishwara can see the cosmic aspect of the infection, not the infection itself. Infection is material. The cosmic aspect of that. Spiritual infection, spiritual disease. And Munishwara would fight that. So many people, when they are in any major crisis, they will come and invoke Munishwara. And you will have an opportunity to do that here. Veerabhadra is a very powerful warrior god. He was with Kartikeya. These aspects are very intense, very powerful, and they are fighters. They fight because we need their help with that asuric energy, which again is abundant. And we don't know them, we can't see them, we can't feel them, but we can feel the effect of them. It's like electricity. You don't see electricity, but you see the light, the manifestation of electricity you see. But you don't see electricity itself. It is something like that. So Veerabhadra is very powerful. So we will have special sannidhanams for Veerabhadra. Uchchana Mahakali is one of the Kali aspects. Kali aspect is very, very kind. Among all the deities, I do prayogam. That's the kindest one. When she is represented in the most gruesome way. But truth is opposite, because at the time of transition, death is considered as horrible. At the time of death, she accompanies us. That's why she is represented with blood and guts, because she needs that to fight the evil. So she's represented like that. But to us, she's very kind. She's the sweetest, kindest, most sensitive, divine aspect of Mother, Mahakali. Bhairava is a very powerful. Bhairava is the most powerful aspect of Shiva Bhagavan. When Shiva Bhagavan started creating, Asuric aspect did not want the creation to happen. They did not want human to have possibility of entrance to Devaloka. Humans cannot be there. So they didn't want him to create the way he designed with Rajarajeshwari. So they disturbed his intensity. So you took the most powerful aspect of him and put it next to him and said, you take care of me. I will go and create. So that's the origin of Bhairava. There are 64 Bhairavas and Bhairavis, but we will have a Sannidhanam, separate Sannidhanam for Bhairava. We have Kala Bhairava, we do it on 7th day, on Ashtami. Krishna Prakshami is the day for Kala Bhairava. We do it here. It's very effective. If you can attend, you should attend that. Ayyanar, again, very active, very... Vanadurgas. Vanadurga is very important for us. From the beginning, Vanadurgas are very, very active, outside, inside, everywhere. And this aspect of Durga is again very close to us. And they've been involved with us for a long time. And I remember many, many episodes with Vanadurga. There's one of them, we did a special homa. Right as you're driving towards Sarasota, there is a place we did a homa for her. Long ago, 15 years ago. Her mother wanted us to do that for Vanadurga. It was noon on a weekday, clear sky, and sun was very intense. It was sometimes in May or June. And Dr. Keski, do you know Dr. Keski? Dr. Keski is a blessed soul. Mother has many times appeared to her and communicated with her. Mother Meenakshi is Ishta Devata. She was there, and she had a couple of her friends, American physicians. And we did that homa, and then we finished and came out. Then I looked up, I saw a huge stone. It looked like stones, big, big rocks coming towards us. I thought it's going to hurt me and hurt the cars and everything. But as soon as it hit us, these were icicles. On a clear day, there's no cloud. It came as soon as it touched us, all of us. It became soft, most beautiful, soft, tender feeling. That is her way of showing her appreciation for what you did to invoke Vanadurga. So ever since that, I always think of her. Anytime in time of trouble, I invoke Vanadurga. In our temple, she is very active. Vanadurga. Next one. Are we on time? Okay. These are some of the. That's a Garbharat Rakshambika. We will have the Sannidhanam for her. Ashtanagas we will have. It's very unique Nagas. Ashtanaga. It's a Kundalini representation. But very unique form Mother wanted. And that's the way we will have it as Ashtanagas. And it will be very effective, particularly for those who are in Kundalini path, in meditative path, in a spiritual path. For them, this will be very useful to worship her, to invoke her, say her mantras. So that's Ashtanagas. Next slide. Draupadi is a deity. She became a deity. Even though in a human level she was part of our rituals, but she is. Uchana Mahakali, this other aspect of Mahakali, this aspect helps. We will have a separate Sannidhanam. Pechi Amman, you would have heard. She's they'll call them all as village deity. The term came about because they're simple and you don't have to know too much to invoke them. You don't have to be knowledgeable and the mantras, just pure. It's like Ayyappa. You look what mantras you have, very simple, basic, but he's a very powerful deity. Ayyappa we have. So that is Pechiamman. It's again a Kali aspect. Different aspect she is giving us. Because some of us need that. Who, I don't know, you don't know. But once you install, you come and worship her, your troubles will be taken care of. And then she will wake up in you and communicate with you. Again, it's personal. It's between you and her. Isaki Amman, Icha Shakti. Saptakanya is also very important. Again, people who are in major personal troubles, psychological problems. Saptakanis are Saptamatrukas are different. Saptakanis are different. But these are all higher cosmic forces who help you our different level of consciousness. And when you have trouble in that level, they will help you. Saptakanya. Again, I do not know, you do not know who needs them. But if they are there, you worship them. Because they are divine, why not? And chances are you may need them. You may need that energy to protect you because you do not know your enemy. I'm saying billion of them, the cosmic energies. You do not know it, so worship them. Thank them. See, basically it becomes a personal relationship. You've got to develop your own personal relationship by showing your love, your affection, your reverence. And that's a great privilege for a divine telling us, develop a relationship with me. Can you imagine that? It's the other way around. When this temple, she said, I want my children to be able to take me anytime they want, and I would be with them. So that is a very unique aspect of our temple because it's designed by her. It's being constructed by her. We do our part, the mundane part, the routine part. Many of us are given privileges. Shiva and Nagapan is the board of director. We are given the privilege to be involved in that construction aspect with Mother's direction. Because we would not know all these aspects. We would not have chosen them. Okay, we wouldn't have known about the importance. You wouldn't have known about the importance. Only person who knows is Divine Mother. Like Rajarajeshwari, Mahakali, the highest form. They know your soul. From that she designed, this soul is going to have this problem. So I want them to invoke me at that time. That is the reason why you have so many deities. People may wonder, why that many deities? Why not just one? Yes, you can. But the separation is so huge. It's unbelievably huge. Trillion times different than ours, higher than ours. There's no way you would be able to connect to them. So she creates billion forms. And they are the transcendent aspect of Divine Mother and Shiva Shakti. I would say Shiva Shakti, transcendent forms. So they can get us easier. At least we'll have a chance to know them, to be with them, and to be enlightened by them, to be protected from the negative energy. So this temple was built for protection. To the world, we happen to be the fortunate, blessed ones, be really involved and to know and connect and to be able to see the rituals and to know the mantras and be able to do all that. That is our privilege. You have earned it. Many lifetimes you would have wanted it. It happens this lifetime. So obviously you are blessed. And take advantage of it. You ask for it. Eternity you ask for it. And this time it happens. So what is happening here, it's not something, even the Siddhas I talk to in India, they don't believe it. There's one, Dharmaburi Adhinam, have you heard? That's a big Adhinam. And the chief said, Doctor, this is something we have never heard of. Vedas talk about it, but you never heard there is a place where Mother is personal. She makes personal connection. As long as devotees open up and ask for that. But she will grant you. So Saptakanya, Bhairava, who's next? Yeah, Buddha Tatiyar is a very powerful, they are all Asuric slayers. Karupaswami, Buddhanatha. They are divine, but they are in a very intense form. To fight the Asuras, you need those forms. And they are all there, Buddhanatha, Karupaswami. Again said, they are all classified under Grama Devatas. Ancients knew, but many of them disappeared because they didn't continue the connection. Munishwara, Ayanar. Next, do you have any more? Masana Kali. Suryalimar is a very powerful anti-Asuric force. See how he is represented? See, they don't have any form. They are cosmic energies. We give them the form. And if the form is there, that will be the way it will look to Asuras. Just like Mahakali looks so ruthless, so gruesome, so horrific. That is for the Asuris and Asuras, not for us. For us, he is very kind, very sweet, very beautiful, very kind. But for Asuris, they are very intensely antagonistic. Suryalimar is one of those fighter cosmic energy, and having him available in the temple when you are going through a bad time, you go and worship him, and it will help you. These things you will never have a chance to see in one place. All these anti-Asuric energies. Virabhadra, Vanadurga, a beautiful representation given by her. The reason why they make them look so horrific is our own conception. To Asuras, they are horrific. They are as intensely negative to them. See, light and dark, they cannot exist. One will negate. So if there's light, darkness disappears. And Asuric is equated with the darkness. This is one example. Many times, the Mother would appear in one aspect. And this time, she appeared in water. She said, from the beginning, I've been blessing my children as water devata. My name is Ambuja Ambiga. Do something so that my devotees will think of me as Ambuja Ambika. So I thought, how can I do that? Then I realized, why not? She is water. Temple tank is the meaning of that is that. So many ancient temples will have a tank. So you go and worship Ambuja Ambika. So I thought, we will have a temple tank here. So when you drive down, you'll see a beautiful tank. Immediately, you're going to think of that deity. It's a very important deity. Water, 70% of my body is water. But how often you think of Ambuja Ambika? Most of you would not even heard of Ambuja Ambika. So she would represent that. So we have to, these are all very complex to get permission, and they're very expensive. That alone would cost us $250,000 to build a huge tank and make it look very nice and make a little temple. But we will do whatever it takes. Participate. That's the most important message. Take advantage of it. Participate in any way you can. She's giving a magnificent chance to participate in her construction. She gives us the chance to participate along with her. Don't lose it, because this will be gone. Next year, year after, we'll be done, and the chance will be gone forever. Among all the investment you make, the only long-term investment would be this. Anything else is short-term. Once you die, you're lost. There's no connection between you. What Mother has given us, that's a long-term investment. That you carry forever. I said forever, how many lifetimes you're meant to have, you'll carry that investment. So a truly long-term investment is one where you have connected Paramatman to Atman. That's the secret. Any life form, not necessarily human. Human have the highest consciousness, so they are the most cost-effective to help. Anything, any life forms, because ultimately it's Divine Mother. If you can help, if you are given the ability to assist, won't you do that? And we're all one. I'm saying even animals, any life form, any consciousness is part of her. So you take advantage of it and get close to her every way you can. And that is the secret. If you do them, your short-term rental is very cost-effective. You'll have a quantum jumps each lifetime, and you'll quickly reach the end of our journey. Our journey is this self-realization. That's the hardest, because the minute you're born, your mind, body, intellect, ego has trapped you. You don't even have an idea who you are. But once you know all this, then you develop ability. This is just a basic traits to enhance a spiritual journey. It's a journey. All of us are doing the journey. We're doing it together. We're all partners. I do whatever I can, even being assisting the construction activity. That's my privilege, my blessing. She has given me that, and I will take advantage of it. Here Shiva day and night he works, he communicates with you, because he knows that's very important, the communication with you, what's happening. So you can come and participate. So each one of us do what we can. Each one of you should take advantage of it. See what you can, how you can assist. Because that is the most cost effective. The whole purpose is that. So you find your own place. Some people sponsor a deity which costs $250,000 or more. So it depends on your ability. Do it without stressing. But again, without renouncement, without tyaga. Tyaga is a good word. Sacrifice. Nothing moves. You need to be able to. But you're sacrificing something is of least consequence to something of most consequence. You're paying monopoly money to buy something, a real building in Wall Street. It's something like that. So take advantage of it. Use your wisdom, your knowledge, and most importantly, the kindness, the grace. I call it grace. Grace is something she gives you. You earned it many, many lifetimes. But in one lifetime, she'll give you the grace. This must be the life. When we are all given the magnificent information, magnificent ability, and magnificent intermediaries to work with us. So these are all the basic qualification, control of mind, senses. All this you need, and you develop it. And if you have divine grace, you will develop that. And you will get that. This state is very difficult to reach. Monks in Himalayas, I have seen some. They are totally not in this world. They are breathing, they are alive, but there's nothing more than them, and they're very blissful. These are yogis. Now, that state is very difficult to reach. The rest of it, you can work on that. And again, everything is relative. Even tamasic, sattvic, and rajasic. It's relative. There are many, many levels of tamasic, many levels of rajasic, many degrees of sattvic. It all depends on what you are meant for, how hard you work, how much grace you have, so the divine will grace you with that degree of sattva, with that degree of rajas, and that degree of tamas. Remember this. It's a simple slide. I want you to remember. You have debt. Don't forget the debt. That debt will not go. There's a Deva arena for he owe to divine Devas and Devis. He owe, because they are the one who is going to take you to their loka, to their world. Rishis, you show your respect, honor them, and Rishi. Pitru, most important, very important, because that is meaningful to you. There is something you know. You may not know the Rishis, you may not know Deva, but Pitrus you know, so think of them and do something to help them, because they are traveling towards Vaikuntha, towards Mahavishnu. So do whatever rituals you can do. I do it any time I come to the temple and do a ritual. I think of them, 3 generations both sides. So think of them, because they are the one who can do a lot for you. Think of them. And nirirona, fellow humans. You know, you see a person suffering, hungry. What I do, it's very difficult. How do we know that person? So I give it to soup kitchens. There are so many soup kitchens. Give the money to them and they spend it. Most of the time they spend majority of the money. No, thanks. Nirirena, fellow human. Buddharena, don't forget the animals. Do whatever you can. Every life form is precious. That is part of divine. Treat them with respect, kindness. And it's good to be nice anyway. You don't have to do it for divine. Do it because it's the right thing to do. So these are all the basic debts we have. As soon as you're born, you have this. You at least take care of this, take care of this, and take care of this. These two are a little difficult, but in this temple, we will give you avenues to be able to pay back even this. Anything else? Thank you. Happy New Year.